Hello everyone, and welcome to week 5 of the CRL season. We have 14 amazing matchups for you guys today. We're going to kick things off with the triple header. We're going to see Brennan Monahan versus Caleb, Micah, and Ermine. So Brennan and Caleb's going to be first. Brennan's in lane 2, Caleb's in lane 4. Brennan is currently 1-3, and Caleb is currently 2-2. So Laser versus Tokyo here. Brennan Monahan's in lane 2, Caleb's in lane 4. Let's see here. Tokyo's going to get the first point for Caleb here. So, good start off here for Caleb. But obviously, doesn't determine the whole matchup. So, Spider versus Burgermobile. Two very fast cars. Both could get a point here. But Spider's going to be able to tie it up for Brendan Monahan. So, that's going to be tie game right here. So, we're going to move on to Torpedo versus Black Hole. Both are relatively decent speed cars, have yet to prove themselves for the team, but that is going to be a point for Caleb with Black Hole. So next up is going to be Brian versus Framework. We haven't seen Framework much this season. Saw Brian last season, but Brian's going to be able to score the point for Brendan Monahan here, and we're going to move on to match point here. So whoever wins this last one here between Harvest and Alk. I don't think we've seen Alk at all this so far this season, but this is his debut, and he's going to get a win for Caleb. So Caleb's going to go 3-2, and Brendan Monahan's going to go 1-4 here. Brendan Monahan's still got 2 more matchups here, so rough start, but maybe he'll be able to bounce back. So unfortunately, his next opponent is Micah. Do you believe in miracles? I don't know, but Brennan is 1-4 now, and Micah is 3-1, coming off that loss to Caleb, actually, in the squad skirmish. So, Magnum versus Laser here, same thing as last time. Micah's in lane 4, Brennan is in lane 2, and Micah's going to score a first point here for himself, and things are already looking pretty dreary for Brennan. I mean, Micah's team is honestly, I think, better than Caleb's. I mean, has more talent all around. Spider versus Sahara, but Spider's going to be able to secure a point for Brennan here once again. So he's still able to keep himself alive with these 2 good picks. We got Torpedo versus Mock here. Mock was actually on Caleb's team last season. Torpedo was on Lane's team. Lane, I think, only had like 3 wins last season. But Mock's going to score for Micah there, and it's going to make it a 2-1 game here. So Brian versus Wario. Brian was able to save it for Brennan last match, but it's not going to be enough. So Wario's going to get the win for Micah. Micah's going to go 4-1. He's going to retain. I guess no. Technically, he's still underneath Luke in the standings despite Luke's record, because Luke's still technically 4-0. But Luke can go 4-1, so we'll see that later. But Brennan is now 1-5. Ermine is 0-3 though. Got a bye in week 3, and Laser's going to score for Brendan Monahan. So if there's any matchup that Brendan would be able to win, it'll be this one. Ermine has yet to get a win, but I mean, that doesn't mean Ermine's not going to fight back. I don't know. We'll see. Spider versus AJ Brown here. Let's see what they can do. Spider has won every one of his matchups, and he's going to go 3-0 this week. That is a very impressive record in the first ever triple header for Spider. I mean, he's pretty much carrying Brendan right now. But Torpedo versus Blitz is pretty much where it goes wrong for Brendan every single time. This Torpedo can't seem to get it right. Blitz is going to keep Ermine alive here in this last matchup for Brendan with that point. So next up is going to be Brian versus Expo. Expo has been was pretty clutch last week for Ermine. Just couldn't get the job done, but he's not going to be able to get the job done either. So Brendan Monahan is going to get a win. He's going to go 2-5 after this triple header, and Ermine is going to continue being unwinnable with an 0-4 record. So next up is the Battle of the Bends. Last time I think this happened was CRL 3. So both teams are 1-3, so not the best records, but this should still be a heavy firepower matchup here with Rex and Black Yoshi kicking things off here. And looks like Ben Roth's going to score the first point with Rex. It was pretty close, but I think Rex just barely got through the ticker in time, so good for him. Next up is Waluigi versus Red Yoshi. Ben Cressman's got the full Yoshi squad, but it's not going to be enough. Wario's going to score another point for Ben Roth, and Ben Roth is taking this thing away. I mean, he might win the Benjamin Championship, the Benjamin Bowl. Paragraph versus Yoshi. Yoshi pulls ahead, but Paragraph is able to close the gap just in time, and Ben Roth is going to sweep his destined rival. So, not even in the same conference nor division. So, next up is going to be Melissa versus Grant. So, Melissa is 1-3, and so is Grant. Both these teams have seen some struggles, and they're probably just banging their heads. They're like, what is going on? Especially Grant. Grant is very frustrated with his team. Clockwork versus Neon. Clockwork's going to score the first point for Luke's mom. But, I mean, his team seems so good on paper, and they just haven't been able to get the job done. They beat Emily one week, and then he lost to Emily the next week afterwards in the squad skirmish. So, like, what gives? Poltergeist versus Bubble. Very original matchup there. We've seen that so many times in this league. But Poltergeist just wins it this time. I think with Isaac and Lane, Bubble used to win those, but not this time. So Pinstripe versus Nickel. Two very fast cars, former members of Braden's. Grant's going to score the point here. Nickel's going to get over Pinstripe. But that was... These two were on a team since CRL 1. They were in a team in CRL 2. And now they get to face off against each other in these last two seasons. Titan versus Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong's going to be able to do it. That is I feel like a matchup we've seen before in CRL 2. But Grant is going to tie things up. And we are here with match point. So, Jester versus Koopa Troopa. All Koopa Troopa has to do is beat Jester. He's not too fast. But he is faster than Koopa Troopa. So, Melissa's going to go 2-3, and Grant's going to go 1-4. This is looking rough. I mean, the cutoff for a turnaround here is getting closer and closer. You might not be able to turn this thing around. Speaking of teams that need to turn things around, Drew and Braden, 1-3 and 0-4. Might be too late for Braden, but it might not be too late for Drew. Cosmic Coop with a score from Drew. I mean, this is following a season where Drew went 13-1. Technically 14-2, including the playoffs, but I mean, he lost to the eventual CRL champion, Bottleneck versus McLaren, and Bottleneck is going to score another point for Drew. I mean, he features Cosmic Coop, which was on his team last season. His team was so good. Honestly, I think the best overall CRL team we've seen out of everything. Vampira versus Redline, though. Redline is going to score for Braden, and that is a stroke of luck keeping him alive in this matchup here. But I mean, it's just crazy. That might be the best CRL team to never win a championship. That is just crazy. But Propulsion versus Split Point makes it a little sad. You probably wish the Dynasty rule was in play last season. But Braden is going to tie things up for Drew, against Drew. And we're going to see EFOC versus Alloy. So this could be Braden's first win. And it's going to be Braden's going to go 1-4. I mean, not too good on paper, but this is a big win. I mean, we've seen teams do worse. I mean, Connor went like 0-8 last season. So, I mean, great win for Braden. And this could be the start of a big turnaround and a big playoff push in the next few weeks. So, next up is Abby versus Emily, a divisional matchup here. Abby has had a great start, almost opposite to her start last season, 3-1 as opposed to her 1-3 season. She's done pretty good so far. She's going into a bye next week following the Ramp of Doom. But Beetle is going to score first against Rosalina here, getting that first point for Abby. Abby is in lane 2, and Emily is in lane 4. So, Lakitu versus Sushi. But, I mean, Abby's had a pretty good start as opposed to last season. Lost the first 3 and then won that fourth one. But now she has won the first 3, and, well, not the first 3. She's went 3-1, so... I forget which one she lost, but Mike Wazowski versus Creeper, and Emily's going to score a point here, keeping things alive. We've seen a lot of this going on, just that third car saving the teams. I mean, obviously it's gone different for each team. I mean, Grant got saved, but he didn't win. Braden got saved, but he won. Puma versus Mohawk, and Emily's going to score another point. So yet another match point with a comeback from a team. But let's see if this team can finish it off. So, Charger versus Rapido. We haven't really seen Charger at all, I don't think, and oh my goodness. I can't tell if Rapido is really actually Rapido or if Charger is just Despacio. Yeah, I don't know. But Emily's going to get a win over Abby. That's going to put Abby at 3-2, and Emily also at 3-2. So Abby has another matchup against the undefeated, one of the few undefeated teams left. So Abby's now 3-2, but Tomzio remains 4-0. So Beetle versus Ace. This is kind of worrying because if Tomzio can just get 2 points leading up to that Charger, I mean, things could go really wrong here. So this is a lot more dangerous now. I mean, with that first point just scored by Ace, I mean, Beetle is one of Abby's best cards, so she's going to need to do some serious makeup here, get a sweep, or hope something crazy happens in that last matchup. Lakitu versus Falcon, and Lakitu is going to get it done, so start of a makeup of points here. But things are going to have to happen quick if Abby wants to stay alive in this matchup here, because, I mean, that is a major flaw in her team. Obviously, that's the issue with your last card being discovered this late into the season. I mean, Luke's team has done so well this season. His first 4 cards have been amazing, but, I mean, the moment someone goes through your flaws, I mean, we haven't seen Flash. He might be fast, so who's the judge? But, I mean, he doesn't know how fast Flash is, so that could cause some major issues down the line. I mean, imagine he gets all these wins, goes undefeated in the regular season, and then finally he gets taken advantage of by some team he hasn't played in the playoffs, and that is just what happened to Drew last season. So it's all tied up here, and just like I said, Pterodactyl is going to take advantage of that Charger, and that's going to be something Abby's going to have to look into. I mean, that's not just a one-and-done type thing. That is, you just saw it 2 times in a row. So Tom's is going to go 5-0, and Abby's going to have to reflect at 3-3 now. So just like that, her record has been diminished. So Blake and Parker are the opposite of each other, 1-3 and 3-1. These guys not only have a divisional rivalry, but also a grudge, Blake has a grudge against him. The Nuke versus True Blue, a very classic matchup here between league MVPs. But that's going to be True Blue for Parker. Yeah, I mean, obviously that trade last season that doomed Blake from the start. I mean, I don't know. Blake probably would have been much better last season after we saw Diddy Kong's downgradation throughout the last season near the end. But Parker's going to score another point for himself here. Banana versus Lucid. But, I mean, that was just, it was sad to see. I mean, a lot of people who know how certain cars are knew that was a bad trade as well. I mean, you just got to think further. But Parker's going to get the win against Blake. I don't think Blake has ever gotten a win against Parker, not even in the squad skirmishes. So Parker is probably like 4-0 against Blake. But maybe Blake can bounce back. So Colin versus Alex, 2 teams that honestly feel like the same team. Obviously, their records don't reflect that. But Colin is like the southern version of Alex's team, or just the vibe, you know. So one's 1-3, Alex is 3-1, and Alex is gonna score first with Han Solo. I mean, Alex took a chance on a lot of these teams' relievers that went undefeated though. So Han Solo and Brachio. Brachio is gonna go up against Mantis right here, but both of those cars went 5-0 for the respective teams. Brachio was a CRL champion, got the win for Ben Roth in that finals matchup. And Han Solo delivered pretty well for Drew. Was probably the least known car on that team, but still performed well, performing 5-0. King Boo versus Sonny, and that's going to do it. Alex is going to sweep Colin, but I mean, just some of those low-key picks can be good. I mean, they don't have a lot of experience, but taking that chance is what you really need. And teams that take chances are teams that do good. Speaking of teams that do chances, Luke Mullen. This has been a crazy good team. I mean, it's been 5 weeks and 4 weeks, I guess. We still have the 5th week to go for these teams, but Ashland's no team to laugh at either. 3-1 though. Currently second in division since she hasn't raced yet against Alex, who's 4-1. But Blanca's gonna kick things off with a point here. I mean, just like see that there. If Ashland can get another win here and can rely on Flash being slower than her last car, that could be a major issue with to explore. But who's the guess? Compact versus Emu. Dang. So Emu's going to get the win for Luke, and that's going to tie things up here. But obviously, I mean, you got to see. I mean, I hope it works out for Luke. I mean, that was a crushing loss in the finals. I mean, I just hope that Flash can deliver for Luke. But Aries is going to score for Luke there, making it 2-1. And Luke might be able to run away with it. We've only seen this 4th car once, and that was in squad skirmish, I believe. But Circuit versus Statue. I mean, Circuit, look at him go. I mean, this could be a crazy team. And with the Dynasty rule, Luke is only able to save 2 of his cars, and then maybe he might be able to save a third one in the draft. But, I mean, with the caliber of these cars, this has been an elite draft by Luke. Probably his best draft yet, so props to him. He's going to go 5-0. And one of our other undefeated teams, Landon, 4-0. Kean's the exact opposite, divisional rivals, and Kean is 0-4. So Scoville versus Whiskers here. Landon's in lane 2. Kean is in lane 4. And it's just rough. I mean, Scoville's going to score for Landon here. Just absolutely decimates Whiskers in this first point here. Shark versus Steve. I mean, we've seen this before in the squad skirmish. I think we saw it twice. Steve is really fast. I mean, with the Dynasty rule in place, I would save that car. Honestly, I would probably get rid of the rest of the cars unless some other car emerges to be semi-decent. But, I mean, Steve is just a diamond in the rough there. Cocoa Puffs versus Lowrider. Right now for Landon, I'm looking, if I was him, I'd keep Scoville and Cocoa Puffs. I mean, those are 2 cars that have done the most for his team, and then obviously scored the 2 points in this matchup here. But Induction versus Drift, another very good car for Landon, has done a lot for him. Previously saw on Connors from the wheel. Didn't see much racing, probably about 2 weeks worth of racing. But Landon's going to get the win. He's going to go 5-0. And Keenan's going to go the exact opposite. So 0-5. What a upsetting start. But Landon has another challenge for him here. Isaac Krupko. So Landon is 5-0 now, and Isaac is 3-1. So Landon could go 6-0 and be the only team to currently be 6-0 with this doubleheader. Scoville versus Sullivan, and that's going to be 1/3 of the way Landon needs to go for this 6-0. This could be Landon's best start. I mean, I think this is obviously his best start by far, and I mean, this could propel him back to the finals where he really wanted to be again. But Dragonfly is going to take advantage of Shark, and Isaac's going to tie it up here. I mean, we haven't seen much of Landon. I mean, lost that CRL2 final against Drew, made it back to the playoffs, got eliminated first round by the CRL champion, and then I don't think he made the playoffs the next season. So Isaac's going to score another point, though, so this could be interesting because Isaac is interconference. So if Landon wants to get back to the finals, he's going to need to figure out how to beat this team. I mean, obviously, he hasn't lost it yet. He's going to tie things up with Induction against Manta. But if this goes south here, we have Mustang versus Ready Freddy. Landon might need to switch his roster going into this matchup come again, because, I mean, this is definitely a potential playoff matchup here, and Ready Freddy's going to do it. So, David defeats Goliath. Obviously, David is not much smaller than the Goliath, but still, the undefeated becomes defeated. Landon goes 5-1, and Isaac's going to go 4-1. So we have one last matchup for you guys today. This has been a very exciting week so far, and some pretty crazy outcomes, but we're going to see the undefeated Connor 3-0 versus Peyton, who's 2-2, so 0.50 versus 100. Let's see how they do. Submersible versus Porto, and Porto's going to score first for Connor here, and that's going to help it out. So Connor had a bye going to week 3. He's going to have a doubleheader at some point. I don't think it's next week. I don't think anyone has a doubleheader next week. That would be rough. But Converse versus Spike, and Converse is going to tie things up for Peyton here. I mean, Connor's in a pretty good spot. I mean, if he loses, he's going to lose his spot. Or actually, no, he'd be tied with Parker still. Right now, he's slightly above Parker with his 3-0. Obviously, Parker has that 4-1. But Peyton is going to score again, 2-1 up against Connor. Peyton would really need this win if he wants to retain his second-place spot. He's currently in third, tied with Melissa right now at the current state. If he can get this win, then he will be ahead of her. But Connor's going to even things up here. We're going to see one last match point for Week 5 in the CRL5 season. Pinball versus Locomotive, 2 cars that were very prominent last season. And it's going to be Connor. So Connor's going to go 4-0. Peyton's going to go 2-3. And, so that's pretty much all we have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for watching, and let's take a look at the records now. All right, so if you take a look here, Tom's is slightly above Landon in the Wheatstone race at 5-0. Obviously, that'll be figured out. So Tomzio, Luke, and Connor are the only undefeated teams left. So every week we've lost an undefeated team. But Tomzio is going to be on bye. So Connor and Luke can still lose. But yeah, so I mean, if you'll take a look here, those are all the records. We kind of went over that already. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great night. You could pause, take a look at this screen, figure out what's going on, and yeah, that's all we have for you guys tonight. So thank you so much for watching, and see you later.